You ever have those mornings where you walk into the shop, flip the lights, and just realize you're standing in a museum of your own stubbornness? I spent 3 hours yesterday trying to freehand a curve because I was too proud to go find my trammel points.
Let me guess. It looks less like a graceful arc and more like a potato that gave up on life?
It's worse. It looks like a cry for help. But hey, it's Monday, March 2nd, 2026. If we aren't messing something up, we aren't making anything right. Welcome to the TigerDen podcast. I'm Tiger, your resident collector of sawdust and hard lessons.
And I'm Alex, the person here to make sure Tiger doesn't accidentally weld his coffee mug to his workbench. We've got a massive daily digest today. We're talking about some serious heavy metal symposiums in Michigan, the secret to actually finding a plumber who won't retire in 6 months, and how to make sure your woodworking hobby doesn't just drain your bank account but actually fills it back up.
First on the docket, and this is for my metal shapers and spark chasers, the American Iron and Steel Institute is descending on Novi, Michigan on May 20th. It's called Great Designs in Steel. And look, if you think steel is just heavy stuff that rusts if you look at it funny, you're living in a different decade.
I saw the preview for that. It sounds like they're moving into some pretty high-tech territory. Is this just for the guys building skyscrapers, or does it trickle down to the small shop?
Oh, it's everything. It's about how they're getting strength out of thinner gauges without the weight. But the real kicker in the industry right now, and the fabricator just ran a piece on this, is how AI is moving into the fab shop.
Hold on, you're telling me robots are going to start telling you how to bend a bracket?
Not exactly. Think of it like a shop foreman who has a calculator for a brain. They're using it for predictive maintenance. Basically, the machine tells you, hey, I'm about to break that expensive blade before it actually happens. And automated nesting, it's like playing Tetris with sheets of steel so you aren't leaving behind 50 pounds of expensive scrap on the floor.
That's actually useful. I'd love a machine that tells me I'm about to ruin a $100 piece of walnut before I make the cut.
Wouldn't we all? But while we're on the subject of keeping things from falling apart, Cortec just pushed out this VPCI 649 HP. It's a mouthful, but it's a phosphate-free corrosion inhibitor for drinking water pipes.
Sustainable chemicals in the pipes? That sounds like something the plumbing world has been begging for.
Exactly. It's about not poisoning the well, literally. And if you're into the big machines, there's a roll forming workshop in Ohio this April. If you've never seen a flat sheet of metal get squeezed into a complex profile in 10 seconds flat, it's like watching magic, only with more grease.
Speaking of grease and pipes, let's talk about the business side of the trades. I've noticed a lot of plumbing shop owners complaining that they can't find anyone who knows a pipe wrench from a monkey wrench.
That's because everyone is fishing in a dry pond. If you're running a plumbing outfit and you're just posting jobs on the internet, you're already 10 steps behind. The shops that are actually growing in 2026 are the ones playing the long game.
You mean the internship programs?
I mean, getting your boots on the ground at the high schools. You have to treat an apprentice program like an audition. You don't hire a lead tech, you grow one. You partner with the local trade school, you donate some materials, and you get a look at the kids who actually have the hunger. Use those internships to see who shows up 10 minutes early and who's staring at their phone. You can teach a person to sweat a joint, but you can't teach them to care about the finished product.
It sounds like you're saying the talent shortage is actually just a recruitment failure.
That's a sharp way of putting it. Align your hiring with your long-term sanity. If you don't build a pipeline, you're going to be 70 years old and still crawling under kitchen sinks because you have no one to pass the torch to.
Okay, let's pivot to the maker mogul corner. Because for every person working a trade, there are 3 people in their garage wondering if they can sell their cutting boards for enough to buy a boat. Shopify just dropped their 2026 research. How do we find the Holy Grail product?
Step 1, stop guessing. My workshop is full of great ideas that nobody wanted to pay for. Use the tools at your fingertips. Google Trends and Pinterest Predicts are like a weather forecast for what people want in their living rooms. If everyone is looking for sustainable boho industrial, don't try to sell them Gothic mahogany.
And the pre-order strategy? That seems a bit risky if you haven't made it yet.
It's the opposite of risky. It's the safest thing you can do. Post a prototype, run a poll on your social media, and see if anyone actually reaches for their wallet. If they don't buy the pre-order, they weren't going to buy the finished one either. You've saved yourself 20 hours of sanding for nothing.
I see a lot of people getting into affiliate marketing too, just as a side stream. What's actually working there for makers?
The big winners right now are smart home DIY and sustainable woodworking. People want to know how to install the tech themselves, and they want to know that the wood didn't come from a clear-cut forest. If you can talk about that genuinely, you've got a niche.
Let's close out with some DIY mastery. You mentioned refinishing floors earlier. Honestly, Tiger, the thought of sanding my own floors makes me want to just move houses. It's such a nightmare.
Look, it used to be a dusty, soul-crushing ordeal, but the International Builders Show just showcased these new masterwood floor finishing techniques. The equipment now, it's like the difference between a horse and carriage and a sports car.
Is it really doable for a weekend warrior? Or am I going to end up with a floor that looks like a topographical map of the Swiss Alps?
If you follow the sequence, you're fine. The new precision clamps and laser-guided jigs that are hitting the Maker channel are incredible for layout. And the modular cabinetry they showed at IBS, it's basically Lego for adults who want a high-end kitchen.
Meaning you don't need a master's degree in joinery just to have a pantry that closes properly.
Exactly. The trick is to stop seeing the whole house and start seeing the small wins. Fix the lighting, finish one room's floor, or build one modular cabinet. Before you know it, you've saved $5,000, and you have the satisfaction of knowing you didn't just write a check. You actually built the life you're standing in.
That's a heavy takeaway for a Monday. Build the life you're standing in. I like that.
I have my moments, usually right after the second coffee kicks in.
Well, whether you're looking to scale your plumbing business, hit the Steel Symposium in Novi, or just finally get those floors looking decent, there's a path for you this week.
Go find a piece of scrap, make a mistake, learn something new, and then tell us about it in the forums. We'll see you in the shop.